I ain't never missed my cue.
You got more for us?
I got more stories.
Oh, well, let's go. Buckle up, guys. Round two.
I have a
That was just the first half.
I remember a story about Betty in San Diego. You don't want to hear that, never.
Oh, come on, tell me. What do you
Betty,
got?
I never grew up with a girl named Betty.
I have a question.
Oh, I got. Pete, hold on. You gotta wait.
Go ahead.
You gotta wait.
All right.
Okay.
Hold on. Do I need to tell my daughters?
No. No. The girl who called. You're on the road.
I'm on the road. I'm playing with silly. Okay. And every time I got on this the road trip, this girl would call and wish me good luck. Johanna was her name. So now we're in a town, and she's in the town. She calls me, and I said, "Hey, how you doing, Johanna?" She said, "Great game today. I got 4 hits against the Mets or something. It was in New York." I said, "What are you doing? Where are you at?" She said, "I'm downstairs." I said, "Well, come on up. We'll get some room service." She says, "Okay." So, but 5 minutes later, there's a knock on the door. I look through the pee hole, and I can't see the high. I can't see the hall. There's no hallway out there. Okay. So I open the door, and this chick weighed 550 pounds. She said, "I'm Joanna." I said, "I'm Sidney Stone Street, and he's not it. Goodbye." And I slammed the door.
And she was so damn big, you couldn't see the people.
I couldn't see the peek hole. If Tony Perez had seen her knocking on my door, I'd have never heard the end of it. She was big as 2 women.
So she had a sexy voice, and you're like, "Oh,
sexiest voice.
This is what she looks like."
Nice
She's
game,
beautiful.
Kitty. Nice game. How you doing? And we thought those voices, because in those days they put where we stayed on the road in the yearbook, and you could buy a yearbook at the ballpark. Johanna.
So you look through the people, and
I couldn't see anything.
Pounds.
I got a towel, and I'm rubbing it to see if it's
She's this wide, and you can't see the.
I couldn't see the hall. I could not see the hallway. This chick was big, boy.
Oh my gosh!
I was scared she'd whip my ass if she came in.
But could you imagine though? She's leaving your room, and Tony Perez is walking by. You would never hear the end of it.
I never heard it.
All right, go, Manuel.
Or Davey, or not Johnny, because that's the type of girls he went out with.
So since we're telling stories, obviously we're in Houston. You've told a story too about a Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. We're at the ballpark. We're at the ballpark. I got a girl from San Diego flying in. Her name was Christy Northway, by the way. And I tell my buddy, "I'm at the ballpark. I'm playing a game." Go out to the airport, go to the airliner. You could go to the gate in those days and wait for this plane to land and go up to the best looking girl on the plane and just say you're here to pick her up for Pete Rose and bring her to the ballpark. And there's 2 seats for you, and I'll see you after the game. So this dumbass goes to the airport. He goes to the gate. The 5th person off the goddamn airplane is Farrah Fawcett. And this dumbass goes up to her because she was the best looking girl on the plane.
She was, yeah.
And she said, "Hi, I'm here to pick you up for Pete Rose." She said, "What?" So years later, I did a thing with O'Neill, who was married to Farrah, and he brought that story up to me. He said, "You tried to pick my wife up one time." I said, "That was that dumbass I sent to the airport for me." He went up to Farrah Fawcett. "I'm here to pick you up for Pete Rose. We're going to the ballpark."
Oh my God!
He said, "I ain't going to no damn ball game.
I'm not here for Pete."
Oh man.
Oh goodness!
It can only happen to me, right?" She was nice. Farrah Fawcett was nice. She was nice.
Very attractive woman.
Yeah, she was. She was from Houston. Everybody had her poster on his wall.
I mean, I didn't, but yes.
Before your time.
Yeah. I have a question. Growing up, obviously, I didn't get to see you play much, obviously, but one of my fondest memory of yours was the All-Century team. I think that was one of the, if not the first time after the whole scandal that you were in a ballpark.
Back to the ballpark, yeah.
Yeah. How was that? Feeling or emotion or what?
First of all, man, you have to understand that you never know the reaction of the fans. You don't ever take the fans for granted, okay? I've been part of a lot of ovations, standing ovations. And I think it's no secret that when I was introduced, I got the biggest hand of anybody on the All-Century team. And I'm right between Mays and Aaron. You get a bigger hand than those guys. But it was my first time back at the ballpark since I got suspended. So
that had to be an incredible feeling.
Yeah, it
You
was.
walk out there.
It was.
You might have a little lump in your throat. And
Yeah, well, just like when I broke the record, Ryan. When I broke the record, I got a 9-minute standing ovation. When you get home tonight and Kayla's cooking, go in the kitchen and clap for 9 minutes. You'll never make it. Think about that. 9 freaking minutes, 52,000 people were on their feet clapping. I mean, that's
what's going through your mind in that moment.
Everything. That's what brings tears to your head, because you're thinking about people, most people that are responsible for you being there, they're gone. When I broke the record, it was my dad, it was my uncle, it was my mom was there. She was at the game. But all the people responsible for you being there are gone. And when you got 9 minutes, you got a lot of time to think about a lot of people.
Yeah.
9 minutes is a long time. It's a long time, but yeah, it was my hometown. I know that. And then your son comes out. Then your other son comes out. Then, then all that hugging goes on. Then all your teammates come out. I mean, I've probably been involved in more standing ovations than anybody because of all the milestones that I achieved. Whether it was 2,000 hits, 3,000 hits, 4,000 hits, hitting streaks, World Series, things like that. I mean, it's just mementos, plateaus. Every year it seemed like when I got up in age, I was breaking some kind of record the next year. It got me along because it kept me focused. Because do I want to be the guy with the most runs? Do I want to be the guy with the most hits? Do I want to be the guy with the most doubles? Do I want to be the guy with the most wins? Yeah, you do. You want to have all of that. And the further it's behind you, the harder it is. And you got to think about where you want to be and how you want to get there. And I was good at that. I was good at thinking about that, because I understood what was going on. The good Lord blessed me because I broke my thumb in '68 diving for a ball at Dodger Stadium in right field. I broke my shoulder in '67 diving for a ball in left field at Dodger Stadium. That's really the only 2 injuries I ever had. And both of those injuries, I lost the ball in the lights at Dodger Stadium because the lights they were put up wrong. And the third baseman, the first baseman, the left fielder, and the right fielder would get certain balls in their eyes because of the way the band of lights are set up.
You think they were put up wrong, or it was like a strategic play?
Because they ended up taking some of them, was there 4 or 5 strands of lights on each pole? They took 3 strands on each side behind home plate. And that's why I can never hit at Dodger Stadium, because the ball always had a shadow on it. Okay, it's just like day games at Dodger Stadium. There's a center field which is green, but then if the pitcher throwing right-handed to a left-handed hitter gets to that part of the mound, he's throwing out of the seats. In daytime, most people got white on. He's throwing out of the crowd, and one of the secrets to hitting, Ryan, is being able to see the rotation on the ball, know what the pitch is. And if you can't see the rotation, you're screwed. It's like taking batting practice at twilight time.
Yeah.
The lights aren't on and the sun's shining in center field. You can't see the damn rotation on the ball. Now, if I couldn't see the rotation, I didn't know what the pitch was.
So there was an article that came out last week speaking on the Miami Dolphins stadium and how it's designed strategically to work against the opposing team in reference to the time of the game and the way the sun is. And there's times where the temperature has been like 20, 30 degrees hotter on the sidelines for Dolphins opponents. And then the home teams always pick color uniforms. And the Dolphins always play in white at home.
Yeah.
So do you think that stuff was taken in consideration to where it's like they built the stadium to make it harder on the opposing team?
Let me tell you something. I just heard that story. I don't believe it. Because first of all, in order for that to happen, okay, if you win a coin flip, you can tell them which way you want to go and which way you're going to go in the fourth quarter.
It's in reference to the sidelines. So like the Dolphins sideline.
Oh, I don't know about that. Who gives a shit about the sideline?
Well, you're just cooking in like 20, 30 degree extra heat.
Oh, I didn't know.
And players cramp more and it's hotter.
That could be possible. What happens at 50 degrees?
On Miami.
Oh, it could be.
I just didn't know if that was something.
That's possible. That's possible, but that's kind of, you mean like you guys stealing the signs a couple years ago? Is that what you're talking about?
Not my department, but yeah, that wasn't us.
Your Astros. We didn't steal the signs.
Cheater.
We weren't on the team.
You cheater.
I'm not on the payroll.
Did it work? You won, right? You won the World Series.
I'm not mad about that.
That kind of seems far-fetched to me. Into the tunnel, knocking on doors and stuff. Here comes a curveball. Boom. Here comes a fastball. I mean, what?
I don't know enough about baseball and the game itself to know if it works, if it's possible, if it wasn't, if they were full of shit.
Just like when I was on second base, okay? I don't want anybody telling me what's coming because he's watching the catcher give his sign. You know, one's fastball, two's a curve, three's a changeup, four is a knuckleball, whatever. Because that guy might get it wrong. And he might tell me that, a slider's coming and the guy just put the one down instead of two, and it's an up and in fastball, and I'm looking outside for a fastball. I just got hit in the jaw with a fastball. I don't need no help. Don't give me no help. I do not want to know what's coming. I remember one time I'm playing in Philadelphia, and when I played against the Phillies, when I was with the Reds, before I went to Philly, I could go up there like this and get 3 for 4 against the Phillies. I could just hit them. And I come up to bat this one particular game, and Mike Ryan's catching, and Gene Mock's the manager. I say, "Hey, Mike, how you doing?" He said, "Mock told me to tell you what's coming." I what? He told me to tell you what's coming. I'm going to give you a fastball. He threw me a fastball. I'm going to give you a curveball. He threw me a curveball. This happened for 3 at-bats. For those 3 at-bats, I didn't know whether to wind my ass or scratch my watch. I was so mixed up, okay? So the 4th time up, we got a guy on second base, 2 outs. He said, "I'm going to throw you a fastball." And I stepped out. I said, "I'm going to look for a goddamn fastball." So I get back in there and said, "I'm still going to throw you a fastball." He throws me a fastball. I hit it off the scoreboard. We win the game 2-1. Next day, I go up to bat. No practice. It was rain. No batting practice. Mike's catching. I said, "Mike, how you doing?" He said, "Mock told me to tell you, go fuck yourself." And Mock's over going, "You son of a bitch." He tried to help me, but it worked for 3 at-bats. But I didn't want anybody to tell me what was coming. I didn't want to know. It screws your mind up.
But when you're one of the best hitters in the game's ever had, it's like, you know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't need help. And the person giving you advice is probably nowhere close to being as good as you.
The guys I couldn't hit. This is true. The guys I couldn't hit are rookie pitchers I never faced before until I saw them a couple times. And I'd write down in the back of my head what they threw. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
The veterans, they're not going to change from year to year. They got a good curveball. They got a good curveball. They got a good fastball. They got a good fastball. They're not going to change because it's a different year. I had trouble with rookie pitchers. And that's why I never swung at too many first pitches against rookies, because I wanted to see the repertoire as many times as I could. Then I'd write down what they throw in the back of my head. Okay? Because there wasn't a certain pitch that got me out. Well, obviously there was one that was about that big. That's the one that got me out. It's not the guys that had a curveball I couldn't hit, because I could hit curveballs. Not the guys that had fastballs I couldn't hit. No one can hit a knuckleball. You know, I got 64 hits off of Phil Niekro. 64 hits off a knuckleball pitcher, Phil Niekro. And I got 34 hits off his brother Joe, who was a knuckleball. So I got a 40th of all my hits off the Niekro family. If she'd have had 5 boys, I'd have got 5,000 hits. I could just hit a knuckleball. How do you hit a knuckleball? You got to swing at it. You don't poke at it, you swing at it. I could hit Phil Niekro. I just got a lot of hits off him, a lot of hits off his brother Joe. Joe pitched for Houston, actually. He had a better knuckleball than his brother, and his brother went to the Hall of Fame because Joe threw a hard knuckleball. And for those that don't know what a knuckleball is, it's like riding on an airplane that's in turbulence. That's what the ball does. You don't know if it's going to like this. You don't know if it's going to like that. You don't know how it's going to break. But you have to swing at it. Don't poke at it.
How was it going against Nolan Ryan?
Good, because he was a competitor. I remember when I broke Stan Musial's record, the night before, I got a hit first time up, broke his record, tied his record, Nolan was pitching, and the next 3 times up, he struck me out, and I swung 1 time. He just said he's not going to break that record. I had to wait 2 months. We were on strike to beat the record when we came back to Philadelphia to play. 2 months I had to wait during the season.
Nolan said, "You're not doing it on me."
You're not going to do it on me. He just pulled his boat straps up and just struck me out 3 times. Nolan Ryan's a competitor, man. He's a real competitor.
Yeah, I remember we did his
He's one of the most competitive guys I ever faced.
we did his charity event a few years ago, and it was just, I think everyone there was in awe of just having the hit king and the strikeout king, the greatest baseballers of all time.
He struck me out 22 times, and he walked me 27 times.
The fact that you remember these stats,
Well, it's because I've been talking about it for 50 years.
unbelievable.
Nolan Ryan he could pitch for me. He was never on a good team. That's why for a long time he was a 500 pitcher. His team in Anaheim couldn't win. And he lead the league in strikeouts. He had an iron arm. I mean, his arm never got tired. I like Nolan Ryan. I got a lot of respect for Nolan Ryan. Yeah, he hit more guys too.
Yeah.
He hit a lot of guys. He didn't throw at him, but he hit them. He beat Ventura's ass, didn't he?
Yeah, I sure did.
Don't charge no 40-year-old man unless you know what the outcome's going to be.
He whipped his ass. That's
He
for
did.
sure. He signs the picture now. Don't mess with Texas.
Yeah. Oh, Noli. I wish I could play for Noli, with Noli. Because you know you're going to get
You would have got him some rings.
when you got good stuff, you're going to win a lot of games and go to the promised land.
Sure.
He's got all the pitching records, doesn't he?
Yes, sir. How many records do you have now? You know?
26. Well, I got all the.
You got to have you probably have a record for having
record.
records, right?
Well, don't forget, a lot of my records are records as a switch hitter. You know, more hits than a switch batter, more runs, more at bats, more doubles, more triples. You know, right now you're at 8 records already. More wins. You know, I got hit 106 times.
How many times did you walk?
1,500. That's an amazing stat. In fact, I got 4,000 hits. I got on base 5,780 times. That's what you want from a leadoff hitter. Think about that.
700?
5,700.
That's unbelievable.
Well, if you got 4,200 hits, you got 1,500 walks. That's 4,700 right there. And I got hit 100 times. And I got interfered with 10 times or so. You're up to 5,900 times on base. You think Morgan and Perez didn't like that? And bench? You know, I don't know how many times I was on base where all you got to do is hit the ball and you get an RBI.
Yeah.
Just hit the freaking ball. Tony Perez knocked in almost 1,700 runs. He must have knocked me in 800 times. I remember when I signed a baseball contract in 1960, 2 days out of high school, I get on an airplane. That was a Friday, the following Monday, and I fly to Rochester, New York, get a Greyhound from Rochester to Geneva, go to the ballpark, report in, and the second baseman on that team was Antonio Perez, who's Tony Perez, who was 2 months out of Cuba. That's when I met Tony Perez.
Wow.
He's 2 months out of Cuba. I'm 2 days out of high school. I went to lunch with him about 3 weeks ago in Cincinnati. Sat there for 2 hours, didn't understand a goddamn word he said. He still can't speak English. Doggy. Where's your English at? I saw we. You could hit, though. That's something bitch could hit.
Oh, my gosh.
You ever face Fernando Valenzuela?
I couldn't hit him. He had good stuff, too. He had real good stuff, too. He had a screwball. He had a pitch to get right-handers out. I didn't face him enough to figure out a way to get hits off of him. But some pitchers are just too good. Like Koufax was good. I don't know why I got so many hits off of Marichal. I got a lot of hits off Drysdale, too. I got a lot of hits off of Sutton. It's usually guys with a freak pitch, you know, whether it's a spitter or a really good screwball or forkball. Elroy faced Pittsburgh. He had a forkball. Nobody can hit that damn thing. If a guy throws it, don't know where it's going, how the hell are you going to hit it? If a guy can't catch it, how are you going to hit it? There's been a lot of guys that couldn't catch a pitcher. Hey, Nolan Ryan had to be hard to catch. He had to be hard to catch. And he was always around the plate, too. You know, they thought he was wild. He was conveniently wild. But he never threw at people. He pitched it. There's a difference throwing at somebody or pitching inside. Because if you pitch inside, you move the guy off the plate. That gives you that much more of the outside part of the plate as a pitcher. That's why no one pitched inside. I never remember anybody saying that Nolan Ryan threw at him purposely. I don't think he did. He didn't have to. None of your great pitchers do, unless they're protecting one of their teammates. Guys who throw at guys purposely usually aren't good pitchers. They're just, trying to start trouble. I've been in a lot of fisticuffs too. A lot of brawls.
You're a fighter, Pete?
No, but
It's over. You just handle business if you needed to?
It goes push to shove. You can't, some guys, if the fight would start, they'd run for the dugout. No, you got, we had a Donnybrook with St. Louis one night. Jesus Christ. Perez started it too. Perez started it. He charged the pitcher. I was fighting a guy named Jim Koosman, about 6'6". Me and him was wrestling outside of second base. What the hell are we doing out here acting like kids? Yeah, because when you have fights in baseball, it seems like the wrong guy always gets hurt. Breaks a hand, breaks a finger, turns an ankle, turns a knee. Yeah, fights they're not good. They're not good for baseball.
Well, Pete, this has been a lot of fun. We got you in Houston often, so we would love to have you back on the show. This has been very enjoyable, so I appreciate you doing it.
No, it's fun.
Again, you said you flew in early, so that means a lot, and I appreciate that.
Are you impressed with my recall?
It's mind-boggling. I can't remember what I had for lunch today. And
you know why? I'll tell you why it's like that. Because obviously, the way I make money is doing appearances and stuff, and I've been doing that for 50-some years.
Yes, sir.
And you tell the same stories year after year after week after week after week. It never leaves your mind.
Yeah, but it's incredible, the things you remember and the details and the stats and the stories and the games, and it definitely makes for an interesting dialogue, that's for sure.
And based on that, I'll never forget Joe DiMaggio's penis. Last time I saw a penis like that was on Secretariat.
Oh my gosh. Didn't you lose Sportsman of the Year to the Secretariat?
No, yeah, I did. Yeah. 73.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Sportsman of the Year, I lost to a goddamn horse. It was a good horse, though.
Well, Pete, this was amazing. We appreciate it. As usual, we look forward to a fun weekend with you, signing autographs Saturday and Sunday. Manuel didn't really say shit this episode.
That's because the little girl's sitting over there.
Well, we do the podcast the other day, and we have Mike at the office, and Manuel asked him a story about Roberto Duran, and he starts crying.
Mike did?
Because he loves him and respects him so much, and I knew why Mike was upset, but Manuel's like, podcast career is over. I made Tyson upset on the first podcast, but
he never fought him. That's a weight.
No, he looked up to him.
Oh,
yeah, his fighting.
He was tough.
Yes, sir.
Duran was tough.
But
what was his nickname?
Hands of Stone.
Hands of Stone.
But this was amazing. I hope to have you back again soon.
We didn't talk about my boxing career.
Let's hear about it.
No,
save it for the next one.
No, I boxed 112 pounds. I was in high school.
So that's where you got you're ready to fight when you're on the field playing.
And I had 2 fights. And my last fight, I fought a guy named Candy Jameson. Okay. I'm 14 years old. I'm fighting this guy at the Finley Street neighborhood house downtown Cincinnati, right in Blacktown. Okay. And this guy has 7 kids at ringside. And I'm 13, 14 years old.
What? So he's a grown-ass man.
Yeah. But he weighed 112 pounds. That's my weight division.
So he's 14. You're 14. He is 17.
I lost to Candy Jameson, and I came back and fought a guy named Virgil Cole, same weight, and he beat me. And after I lost that fight, I told my dad, I said, Dad, fuck these boxing gloves. Give me my baseball glove. Let me go play baseball. I had 2 fights. I was 0-2.
But what people don't know also is you were a stud football player.
I was a good football player. That was my dad's sport. You know, I was an all-city football player as a junior. And I didn't play my senior year. I was ineligible. It wasn't because I was dumb. It was because when I was a sophomore, I went out for the team, and the guy cut me off the team. And it was like putting a stake in my heart. I said, fuck school. I'm not going to school. So I flunked my sophomore year. Okay, now my second sophomore year, I start growing, and I made the team. That I made all city as a junior year. Now my senior year, I'm already out of semesters, so I'm ineligible.
Oh,
you're only allowed 6 semesters of eligibility, sophomore, junior, and senior. That's why I didn't play as a senior.
interesting.
Yeah, it was fun though. Football was fun. It was probably more fun than playing baseball. But I was always on a good little league team too. We always had good players. Yeah, we had the poor kids down there where I grew up, in the field. Is now called Pete Rose Field. And the ballpark the Reds play on Pete Rose Way.
Yeah. He took me to a Reds game last year, and I told Pete, I said, hey, at some point today, I would love to go see your statue. And Pete tells the driver, hey, pull up, go over there. Wait a second. But Pete's taking me to go see his statue, and it was
from the ballpark.
It was surreal.
Awesome.
Because I just wanted to walk past it, and I didn't think Pete was going to take me and show me. And the next thing you know, there's just hundreds and hundreds of people.
Imagine.
Well, it'll be there until they tear that ballpark down.
And they'll put
And already tore 2 of them down. Crosby Field and Riverfront. That's Great American, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, Pete. Thank you for coming in early to do this for me, and hopefully we'll have you on again the next time you're in town. Been enjoyable, and Manuel, thanks for being a part of this also. Pete, couldn't have done it without you, and we appreciate everything. Thank you again.
Well, thank you. You guys did a good job.
I ain't never